Hello, everybody, and welcome to Task Force Unlikely, Episode 9, Dungeon and Dragon. Last time... Let's see, where are my notes? Last time, Task Force Unlikely fought the doppelganger Fang, disguised as Zaztam. They beat him because he is also a vampire, and the party has 2 clerics and a paladin in it. They met the Rakshasa Narshinda, and he served them pizza rolls and was generally fairly friendly with them. And the group offered him an alternate job, perhaps taking care of a Master Lord of Waterdeep acquaintance of theirs named Durgar. And then they sprung a trap set by some Red Wizards and Fang and proceeded to defeat the Red Wizards and Fang. And that is where we will pick up today, right there. So, you guys are in a circular room in the dungeon you've been exploring for 3 episodes now. So what do you guys want to do?
I'd like to sit in the corner. No. There was the coffin area, right?
So
that we presume Fang was in.
So you have heard of a there is a sarcophagus somewhere in this dungeon. Narshinda told you it is not the same as Fang's coffin. That is presumably somewhere else. There is a large sarcophagus that no one has been able to get open. There is a path to Skullport and Fang's chambers, and those are kind of the remaining rooms that have been name dropped to you.
So I think we should get the Rakshasa something to distract him if we do and then come back here, because I would rather him not realize that we've just murdered his former roommate. I don't know what his reaction to that will be. They tend to be quite vengeful. I mean, they tend to be quite vengeful.
I mean, I don't know. He seems like a cool guy. I'm sure if he explained what happened, I don't know. He might take it okay.
Cannot predict now.
Navira is standing there breathing heavily and bleeding.
No, I would like to use thaumaturgy to make a dramatic breeze blow the dust away.
Okay.
In the room, is there anything of note?
In this room.
Or just a lot of red fabric?
A lot of red fabric. Let's see. There are some tapestries on the wall that look very old. But other than that, it is a circular room. It looks like they probably used it as storage. There's some barrels and crates and such about.
Just to humor himself, Tarbek will check behind the tapestries.
Okay. Give me an investigation or perception check.
Do I get my stone cunning on this?
Sure.
Don't exactly remember what that does, actually, now that I think about it.
I
think it means I'm
Yeah, does it mean you're proficient?
Stone cunning gives me double my proficiency, but that's for history checks. I'm assuming...
Then just make a straight investigation or perception check.
Okay, would this give me proficiency with my stone cunning, or no? Okay.
That's... Hold on, let me...
I did bad, so it doesn't matter. I got a 5. No, 4. I'm really distracted by the tapestry.
Yeah, okay, so, yeah, it's... You know the historical importance and how this would have been manufactured. Looking around, you don't see anything of note.
All right then. There's I think we'd rather check out the rest of this place, but I don't know how are y'all doing? You're running on empty?
Cut back to Navira standing in a puddle of her own blood.
Do you need healing, Navira?
I was about to say,
She touches herself and heals herself for 20 hit points.
Okay.
Oh! I'm gonna just...
You see her wounds and knit together.
Got that magic paladin touch, baby.
It's
Now she's still bleeding, just a little bit less.
I'm still gonna hold that cure wounds for later, because that's way more than I can do.
That is most of my lay on hands, so try not to get hurt.
I have one. I technically have 2 healing spells left, but Prayer of Healing isn't particularly useful in.
Nah, that's an out of combat spell, right? Yeah.
Is Prayer of Healing the one where you stick it in the... No, wait, that's Healing Spirit.
No, that spell's
The one... Yeah, that spell really is broken.
Prayer of Healing is used before rest, so like if we're about to do a short rest instead of a long one, I can use it for more.
Short rest doesn't actually sound like that bad an idea.
I do only have 1 spell slot left.
Oh, okay, maybe a longer one.
Yeah, I mean...
I just feel like we don't have much.
I was divine smiting that vampire a lot.
I have 4 spells left.
Yeah, me too. So I vote we...
Gayle can go all day.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Full up on sneak attacks.
Got those out the wazoo.
Mm-hmm. I vote we go and tell the Rakshasa what happened. If you... Can I make an insight check, try to see what his reaction might be to us ashing Fang?
You want to try and predict what his reaction will be?
Sure. Or infer what it might.
Well, because you're not actually looking at him, you don't need to make an insight check. He was in the room when you were planning a lot of this stuff, and he seemed to think that perhaps Fang and his boys had gone too far this time. If what you were saying was true. So he's probably okay if you killed him. He seemed pretty interested in going to work for Durgar.
Okay, awesome.
I cast Augury. Does the plan of us going explain this to the Rakshasa seem like it's going to
go? What's the good one is Wheel?
Let me see real.
Wheel and Woe, right? The answer is it's the good one.
Okay.
It's the technical term.
Yeah.
All right, then.
As I see it, yes, it is certain.
Okay, so do you want to go talk to Narshinda, or do you want to take a long rest?
I'd like to talk to Narshinda first. I mean, I feel like there's not much of this dungeon left, is there?
Presumably no, from what he's mentioned.
Could ask if he has a map or no. Yeah, no, he has. He said there was nothing else in here, right?
He said there were Red Wizard's Fang, the sarcophagus, the coffin, and his room.
Okay. Well, I vote we tell the Rakshasa, you know what? We have a new job for you.
Might be good to clear out the dungeon again in case, the Red Wizards find out we killed more of their people and, try to come back and get us.
You might be right about that. And Tarbek will burn the bodies.
Okay. Yeah, you take a torch and
I don't know how
on fire.
I don't know how good Tarbek is at just like conjuring flames at this point, but I'd imagine he kind of lights it on his beard or something. And then
you're adventurers, you all have a flint of some kind.
Just take out like a flint stick and rubbed against her arm and throw it on one of the bodies. Almost expertly, like she's done this before.
Oh. Cool.
As soon as Tarbek says burn the body, she's like, alright, this is what we're doing.
Puts on sunglasses. This is exactly like the first episode.
Lady Kaw could say, huh. She would go, huh.
Okay. So, if you guys head back to the room where you left Narshinda, he is no longer there.
Oh, good.
Okay.
And
Well,
looking around, there are two pathways you have not fully explored yet. There's one past the circular room where you set the trap. That seems to go into a cave structure. And then there is one in a room adjacent to the circular room. There's a proper dungeon tunnel again.
But we've explored all the other places, right?
Yes.
Except for the room with the sarcophagus, and I think the Rakshasa's room.
Yes.
Yeah. Back in the circular room, Navira is going to use her divine sense and see what she can. See what she can feel.
Oh, right. She can just home in on the Rakshasa.
Homemade bacon.
I've also got locate object if we... No, wait, I haven't prepared that today. Never mind.
Okay, so in the circular room... Yeah, you can sense the Rakshasa would be, by your estimation, down the proper dungeon tunnel that you haven't explored yet.
If you want to speak to the Rakshasa, he's down there.
Are you coming with me?
I suppose.
The way you sounded made it sound
Blood
like I
drips down her face.
Tarbek will give Navira a healing word.
Nope.
Huh?
Nope.
I refuse it.
All right, then.
You start to make the sound that she knows is your healing word, you just fingers and ears.
Just go on, visit the Rakshasa. Visit the devil, man. Totally normal thing to do.
I mean, he's the life tiger person with backwards hands.
Yeah.
Tarbek will take point because he still has 45 hit points and is familiar with dungeons and caves and stuff.
Okay, so as you guys are walking, you enter a tunnel that you have been in before. It's where you had the debate on where to go to fight the undead or the fiend. But it's the back half of that tunnel where the part you didn't go in when you turned around. So down here, you can see there is a not huge room, but a sizable room. It's about 20 by 20. And you can see in there is Narshinda, and he's kind of going around fussing and gathering things. It looks like he's packing. And you can see sleeping in the corner is a giant tiger.
Okay, so he's aware of what's going on already? Well, I'm going to sort of...
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll stick my head in. I'll be like, hey,
Hello.
so I think we took care of those red wizards for you. Whenever you're ready to go, we will take you where you need to be. No pressure. We're going to round here a little bit, see if there's anybody we missed. All right. Yeah. And then Tarbek's going to like finger guns as he walks out.
Backward hand.
Navira
finger
sees
guns.
the finger guns, it just goes. No.
And you can see the Rakshasa pick something up and says, "Does this spark joy?" And just stares at it for like 5 minutes.
Since I'm still holding the bag of them, Lady Kai is going to just peek her head around the corner and ask in his voice, "Pizza roll?"
Thank you. And grab a pizza roll and start munching on it.
Wonder if Mike and Ed's like pizza roll.
Oh, probably. Who doesn't like pizza rolls is the thing.
My question is, when does this bag run out of pizza rolls?
Is it a magic item?
You got a lot of bag of infinite pizza rolls. by the legendary wizard Totino.
Cheetos pizza rolls.
The room with the sarcophagus, I don't know, would that be pushing our luck if we went to check that out?
I think this whole adventure has just been us pushing our luck. I don't see what's gonna change about that.
Adventures is people pushing their luck.
That should be the tagline for the show.
See, the sarcophagus room is pretty much next to Narshinda's room. If you would like to poke your head in,
I would absolutely like to poke my head in.
Okay. Poking your head in.
Shoulder
you see a very large sarcophagus. You would say it's sized for a giant.
Oh boy.
And kind of carved into the relief of it seem to be a bunch of giant symbols, written in the language giant.
I don't speak giant.
Which I can't remember. Does anyone speak giant?
I should, but I don't.
Gayle has like 1 billion languages.
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay, so...
That is the one language you don't speak.
Yeah.
I have Dwarvish, Undercommon, and Primordial. It's like all almost giant.
So, you can't read any of the words, but taking from the reliefs, it seems like this giant was some sort of famous dragon slayer. And looking around the other decor and the carving of this room does seem like it doesn't match the rest of the dungeon, as if maybe this room was exhumed by the maker of another part of the dungeon, or the rest of the dungeon. And in addition, you all can see a man dressed in robes, not red, wearing a mask, is kind of gesturing over the sarcophagus, and he looks up at all of you, and he says, the world is so much bigger than you know. And he teleports away, as the lid of the sarcophagus kind of shakes and shatters.
Oh boy.
And
backing up slowly out of the room.
Inside the sarcophagus, you all can see stairs going down.
So who wants to go downstairs first?
Are we doing this
Very
right away?
doubtful.
Divine sense?
You sense nothing other than Narshinda in the next room. Oh, wait, actually, hold on.
Oh god, no.
You also sense hallowed ground.
Oh.
That's good. Do we want to go? I think we might have found a great fairy fountain or something.
That long rest is sounding real good right now. Her cart is parked just outside.
Yeah, Navira very much does not want to go down there until she has at least more than one spell slot left.
Okay. Well, we've now looked at all the rooms, I think, except for that cave passage, but later.
Yes,
That's for later.
Presumably that leads to Skullport. You guys have kind of pegged
exhausted all the other.
Yeah. Oh, and Fang's coffin is in here somewhere if you wanted to destroy that, but there's one other pathway you haven't traveled through, because if you go back up the hallway you're in, you can find where the powerful undead was that Navira sensed like 2 episodes ago, and that is presumably where his coffin is.
Tarbek
I feel
might-
like destroying Fang's coffin may come from an angry place, which is exactly why Navira wants to do it.
Exactly. And also, like, Fang might have loot. For being dead
Honestly.
honest with ourselves.
Have absolutely no investment in the destruction of vampires. We should not do this.
Was that in character, and was it equally as sarcastic?
It was very sarcastic, but it was not in character.
I'd like to imagine there was a vampire hunter that Lady Kaw heard say that at some point.
Yeah, and he kind of talked like Hannibal Lecter. Kind of old
Like,
guy,
wore these,
tiny
wore
glasses.
these neat round glasses, yeah.
Cane.
Mhm.
Oh, God. What an asshole.
Anyways, so
He's
yeah,
Barovia's
after
greatest hero, and he's an asshole.
he's Barovia's only hero.
Yeah,
If he's Barovia's greatest hero, then there's a reason Barovia.
well, yeah, and oh man, I absolutely love that take on him. Is that he is just as much of a monster as those he hunts.
Anyways, on our way out, we should definitely go take care of Fang's. We should clean up Fang's things.
Okay. But is the plan right now to take a nap? Is that...
I mean, I can expend my one last spell slot to explode Fang's coffin.
Well, Tarbek has
I like
a
that.
hammer.
I like that plan.
We'll workshop it.
I
So yeah,
could throw a knife at it.
on our way out, we'll go to that coffin, if that's okay with everyone. Basically, as we're leaving. I don't see any reason to rest until we get out, or... I don't know. Part of me kind of wants to rest inside the dungeon so we can, like, protect the hollowed ground from intrusion, but
Wagon, outside, much more comfortable.
fair enough.
Navira can sleep anywhere, so if you want someone to watch the hollow ground, she will.
Maybe. Anyways, yeah, Tarbek will, on the way back, sort of peek his head into the room that they thought was Fang's.
Okay,
I don't know exactly how the logistics of this work.
So sure, no problem. So yeah, you see a very elaborately decored room. There is a small pile of treasure, kind of open in a chest as if it's at the bottom of an aquarium. And there is a coffin up on a stone pedestal. But yeah, the treasure is probably the thing of note, and it looks like it's mostly gold and jewels.
I throw a knife at the box.
Okay. Twang. It sticks into the box.
Tarbek will
That look
just...
good.
Tarbek will slowly... I'm assuming the coffin's open?
Yes. Yeah, you can see the top is next to it, but it is off.
Is it like a raised dais with some steps?
Yeah.
Tarbek will go behind it and just kind of slide it off the stone thing with his foot and let it crash down the steps.
Okay. And kind
Whatever's left of that, Navira's gonna pick it up and throw it at the wall.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, and it splinters, and kind of the pillow and the silk and velvet inside bedding goes everywhere, and there's an explosion of goose feathers.
She's gonna take her javelin and try to nail the pillow.
Okay.
Vera would never say this, but I can't help but imagine her picking up the coffin and going, "This coffin empty. Yeet!"
This coffin empty.
Okay, Tarbek will. He feels a little bad because he can appreciate the craftsmanship that went into this room, but kind of needs to. It's sort of a rule almost. If you find a vampire's coffin, you gotta.
Navira's been with Tarbek long enough to know that he's appreciating it. She turns to him. She goes, "It is tacky."
Look, I
Meanwhile,
think the velvet is quite dignified.
Tacky!
It doesn't matter, dwarves cremate their dead anyways.
I'm picking through a pile of treasure. Do I find anything particularly neat?
Any bracelets? Or
But
bangles?
she is literally like pecking through the treasure.
There are lots of bracelets and bangles in here.
I like to imagine she pulls out her beak. There's like 3 bracelets on the beak.
So happy.
Let's roll on a DMG table.
Oh boy.
We're pulling up the tables. This is some serious D&D.
Come on, dwarven thrower. Let's go.
These are. I'm stuck in the gemstones. There we go. Okay. So you guys find a potion of gaseous form.
Ooh.
I think that goes to the rogue. That seems
yeah.
like the smartest. Either the rogue or the trickster. We have a lot of people, actually.
A wand of web.
I'll just give that to Lady Kaw. Let's skip the formalities.
3 wands!
And where did it go? And a bag of holding.
Someone else should take that. If you give it to me, I'm just going to fill it with scrap metal.
Navira will take it.
Plus, dwarves don't actually suffer from carry weight, so... Alright.
Okay.
That's a pretty good haul. And with regards to money, do we find anything?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I did describe a large pile of treasure. So...
Take the magic items, leave all of the gold.
Yeah. You find a total of 783 gold.
Oh.
In various coinage, gems, jewelry pieces. But...
How many was that?
783.
783.
Jeez.
Do we want to divide that up now, or just put it in the bag holding?
Just put it in the back of holding.
Into the bag it goes.
We're going to have to start team fund soon, too.
Yeah. It's like this is the team fund now. So yeah, let's vamoose. Although Tarbek will take some notes for future interior decorating ideas.
I give the coffin one last kick.
It's not the coffin, it's everything else. Are there books and stuff?
No books. Nothing. He lived. He did. It looks like he didn't live too ornate a life down here. I mean, other than that giant pile of treasure, but
just left that. No chests or anything. Like there are crates and barrels everywhere.
It was in a chest. It was in like an old-fashioned treasure chest.
I pull my dagger back out of the chest.
Not a mimic.
Not a mimic.
Hi, yes, I remember 2 episodes ago where we fought 3 mimics inside of each other.
Sorry. I love that enemy idea, though, the Matrushka mimic.
Oh, it was great.
That was really good.
Anyways, back to the outside, I think? Are we good?
Take a nap?
I figured we were gonna lead the Rakshasa to the guy's house. Although I think we're actually done with this dungeon now, aren't we?
We just have
I
the
mean, we have
stairs.
to go down the
Oh, right.
staircase.
Duh.
Plus that cave passage.
Oh yeah, we gotta close that up.
Mm-hmm.
This relates to skull part. That would be bad.
Well, I can do that with a stone shape, I think. It might take a while, but... At the very least, I can, like... I don't know. If I have, like... I have proficiency in mason tools, I have proficiency in smith tools, and I have fabricate. With the proper materials, I could make, like, a full-on vault door to block off that passage.
Or, and hear me out on this one, we're in Waterdeep. Does anyone in Waterdeep sell explosives?
Yeah.
Anybody want to collapse a cave tunnel?
We're on top of we're under a public park right now. Just throwing that out there.
There is that.
Doesn't seem like the best idea.
But it seems like a fun idea.
I'm sorry, I'm lawful good. If I was chaotic good, I'd be like all for this, but this does not seem like a good idea.
You're all having this discussion about what to do with it, how Tarbek can do it. Lady Kaw just makes an explosion sound and looks at everyone.
Just
Tarbek will
slow
shake his head.
turn.
No, I don't have anything yet that I can... Yeah, I've already used all those spells. So yeah, we'll all in favor of leading the Rakshasa where he needs to go and then taking a long rest? Alright, we're in agreement.
I don't know, Andy didn't vote.
You guys can do whatever you want.
Alright, we're gonna...
Oh.
I hope I'm not talking too much, but we're gonna go and do that.
Okay, sorry. You cut out for a second, but I understood. I just wanted to make
I
sure.
just said
No, yeah, I'm just making sure the streams. Yeah, it seems okay. Okay. So yeah, you guys go fetch Narshinda. He has packed a couple small bags and has draped them over the side of his tiger, and he has cast Disguise Self on himself to make him appear to be a fairly tall but otherwise average-looking human with I don't think I described this last time, but he is a black-furred tiger, and so he's got very dark hair and kind of dark features, but he will follow you into the night.
I asked to pet the tiger.
Of course. He will.
I pet the tiger. And offer it a pizza roll.
Oh, it seems to love pizza rolls.
This is the greatest demon, or the greatest devil we've ever met, by far. No offense, Navira.
She just looks at you.
I don't know how... Look, some tieflings identify that way, some don't. I don't keep tabs on it.
She's gonna look at her
slowly
like
reach out and put a hand over Tarbek's mouth.
she's gonna look at like her like deep purple pallor and her like big old horns and her tail and just be like,
I appreciate you very much, Navira. I'll
Hug the
stop
giant
talking now.
tiefling. Unless it makes the giant tiefling upset, then stop hugging the giant tiefling.
I didn't say hug.
Oh no, I'm doing that.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Navira is not gonna react to this. She's just gonna stand there.
Keep walking with a kangaroo wrapped around her.
Just like she's got a very brisk pace too, so she's just dragging Lady Kaw.
I mean, you could probably just deadlift me. I'm not big. Try to hump up on your shoulders.
Okay.
Tarbek's gonna have a nice...
Just hold out my arms and everybody grab on.
I must go, my plan.
Okay. So, you guys walk back through the City of the Dead and back through the city to the Lord's house. And if you knock on the door, one of the Myconids in a butler's outfit will open it and gesture you all in.
I'm gonna tip him with a pizza roll.
kind of look at it, sniff it, and then they don't really have mouths, so kind of press it up against his mouth area, and it'll just kind of absorb into his face.
A little weird, but also kind of cute. On the fence.
Yeah, and Dorgar will very slowly walk down the stairs.
So we have someone here who has agreed to be a sort of live-in assistant. We figured you could use a little bit of help around here, although you seem to be doing a little better now. I'm gonna look at all the myconids running around. Are they all still here?
It seems like all of them are still here, and they're kind of going about and cleaning and working.
Making pigment noises.
Yeah.
This place actually looks really nice.
It's looking a lot better than it was. And Narshinda kind of looks at Durgar, and he just says, I'm gonna like it here. He's kind of looking around like, this old man is adorable, and he needs my help. And he will start telling the myconids what to do. He'll take out his own bag of holding and like start pulling all of his stuff out of it like he's Mary Poppins. And yeah, kind of just start going about his business to help get this household intact, and that this guy is safe and healthy and all that. He has someone who will actually appreciate all the work he does.
Instead of Fang, who just, where are my pizza rolls? God.
And Durgar is like not even halfway down the stairs. Just what? Shuffle. Guys, someone needs to invent one of those stair elevators for him.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tarbek's thinking about installing a lift. I feel like that's something a Forge Cleric could do.
Okay. Anything else while you guys are here?
Navira's gonna look at the two of them, say, "You two have fun," and then walk out the door.
Okay.
Gayle will follow.
Okay.
We have made a match. It's time for us to go.
Tarbek will sort of look at Kaw and nod.
Wave goodbye and follow them out.
Bye.
Tarbek might actually come back to visit at some point.
I don't understand what's happening. Why is there a tiger in my home?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Okay. Would you guys like to go back to the dungeon and take a nap in Lady Kaw's?
Yeah, Navira was making a brisk beeline back to that dungeon.
Okay.
You get out the door and she's already like 2.5 blocks ahead of you.
All right then. Okay. Tarbek's got his stubby legs running after her.
Kaw's gonna take her time. That dungeon ain't going anywhere.
And you can take a rest before you get there. Do you guys still want to take a rest? I am presuming that.
Yeah.
Navira's actually going to get back into the coffin room and she's going to take her rest there.
Okay. Cool. So, good.
Tarbek is going to lay out, he's going to sketch out some holy symbols and stuff to keep the place warded. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't, it's mostly for, well, not entirely for show, but mostly for show.
Okay. Everyone's long rest passes uneventfully.
Okay, then.
Best kind of long rest.
I'll just hit _/refill motives. I wish that was a command on here. It'd make things a lot easier.
Okay. And what would you guys?
Oh, and with my last third level spell slot, I'm gonna call my dad with sending.
Okay. Anything?
It's not an interesting conversation. It's mostly just to check in.
Okay. He's doing well.
Aww.
Cool. Great. realizing I probably should have called the fortress that I technically run instead, but family's important too.
Okay.
Did probably bring like blankets from her cart down to Navira or something.
Okay. After your rest, what would you guys like to do?
Go to the Great Fairy
down
Fountain?
great stairs.
Yes.
Wait.
I wanna-
1 second.
I want to get the silver gauntlets. Come on, guys. We have to
my
defeat
mule
Ganon.
for a second, and then spooky staircase.
Oh, yeah, we have to feed that animal.
Yeah. Today's
Alright.
dress is red, if anyone was curious. Yesterday's was purple.
And none of us heard anyone skulking around the dungeon at night.
Navira can make a perception check.
Oh boy. I'm not very good at those. Yeah, definitely not good at those. That's a 10.
A 10? Okay. Occasionally you would hear noises coming from below the staircase.
That just makes her more eager to go down.
Me too.
But other than that, nobody heard anything else. It was eerily quiet, if anything.
Okay, and I will give my artisan's blessing to my warhammer.
Okay, so it's a +1 Warhammer. Okay, cool. Okay. What would you guys like your marching order to be going down the stairs?
Put the tank in front.
Okay.
Which tank?
Navira first,
Yeah, I do-
Tarbek second.
Smashy tank, then Healy tank.
Yes.
Okay, if you're...
I can-
Technically, Tarbek is both. That Warhammer is pretty good at smashing.
Like I figured between the spirit guardians and the aura of protection, we've got a lot going on.
what were you going to say?
Just
Ian?
make one big front shield.
I was gonna say Gayle could go up in the front to check for traps, but if you two want to go ahead, that's fine.
They also check for traps in just a different way.
It's just a different kind, yeah. I'm
Behind
resist-
and a
Look.
slight of an angle.
We let them hit us because we can take it.
Look, I'm resistant to poison and fire. I'm gonna be fine.
I've disarmed all the traps as there's 18 crossbow bolts sticking out of your chest.
Exactly.
And then the wall hits you with a cone of coal.
Oh no, my one weakness.
Okay, so Navira, Tarbek,
Yeah.
then Gayle or Kaw.
I'll go
Probably
last.
We just walk in like one big square. So like Navira and Tarbek, Gayle and Lady Kaw.
It's like old Final Fantasy games where you have lines.
Mm-hmm.
Or we just like stand back to back with each other. Just like walk down the stairs like that.
They can't ever
Anyway.
get the drop on us. Okay. So, Navira, as
Oh, good.
as you're walking down the
What?
stairs, and your eyes are adjusting to the dark, you can see, and you kind of feel this wavering glow ahead of you. And looking, you see, with very finely crafted shields and spears, what you think are kobolds, but they look like nicer than any kobold you've ever seen. They look more like halfling dragonborn. Like, they don't have like spindly rat features. They have like a fully pronounced like dragonborn snout, and they've got their little shield and sword, and one of them wearing a crown will step forward and say something in Draconic. Does anyone speak Draconic?
No,
Oh,
but
Gayle does.
Gayle does?
oh,
Gayle, you hear this person say, Hail. My name is Prince Nolo. Are you emissaries from the world above?
Sure.
Um, he will say, "Excellent," and he will gesture for his guards to lower their shields, and he will say, "Welcome to Safe Haven. Would you like to come and join us? We have much to discuss."
Okay.
So glad
Tell
we
me
have
those
someone
are
who speaks
actually
Draconic.
Gale's responses in common.
She says it in Draconic. What's Draconic for okay?
Probably just okay.
Okay, but angrier.
Okay, with a slight roar in your voice.
Okay.
Okay. So, the prince and his guards, they get on. They kind of walk a couple feet, and then they get onto 2 chariots that are pulled by rats, and they start to go off into the down further the tunnel.
Do I make it feel like I'm in a Jim Henson?
Tarbek, oddly enough, feels quite at home. No, this is normal. Tarbek will see if any of them speak Undercommon, though.
None of them speak Undercommon, but some of them do speak Common.
Oh, okay. That's much easier.
So yeah, it seems like some of the higher ranking, closer to royalty people speak Common. But what would you guys like to do? All the kobolds have just gone away on their chariots. I mean, they're not very fast because they're pulled by rats, or dire rats. They are pulled by dire rats. But yeah, what do you guys want to do?
Might as well follow.
Okay.
Yeah. Seem like cool little dudes.
Navira's seen some weird shit, but this is definitely up there.
So, as you guys are walking kind of along the walls, you do see more of those giant runes, as in written in giant, and also they are large.
I should have prepared tongues.
Kind of going down, and occasionally you see like there is a giant-sized armor, a giant-sized axe, other various weapons and shields. This was clearly this guy's burial plot, and all of his earthly possessions were buried with him. But as you guys go,
I'd like to.
Sure.
I'd like to ask about some of this stuff. Like, who was this guy? Do I know anything based on my history skill?
You can make a history check.
Okay. Oh, fell off the table. No, I only got an 11.
Based on what you're looking at, it looks like he was a frost giant, and that's all you can kind of deduce.
Oh. Yeah, I don't have the best history with frost giants, but, whatever.
But he killed a dragon. It seems important.
That's true.
What kind of dragon, though?
That's harder to tell without reading the language, because there's no color to any of the reliefs.
I don't mean to be...
It makes a big difference on how we feel about him killing a dragon.
Yeah, I don't mean to
Fair.
be racist, but what color are these kobolds?
These kobolds are a mix of chromatic colors. So you can see some red, some black, some green, blue, white. Some of them have patterned skin.
But no silver, or gold, or bronze.
You're not seeing any metallic colors now.
All right, then. Be slightly guarded when we're going down here.
Wow.
Okay, I just...
So, entering into a chamber that it looks like it has been expanded from the burial chamber before. It's a much larger circular room, and there is a small city down here with buildings and towers reaching to the ceiling, which presumably is the floor that you guys were just walking on. And you can see glowing in the middle of the city square is a baby red dragon kind of just floating in air and kind of almost like it's sleeping like a cat, like kind of curled up. And there are various kobolds around it seeming to offer it praise. And the you can see the prince and his retinue are heading towards the largest building, which is presumably the palace.
Yes, we keep following the prince.
Should we bring a gift or something?
We got 783 gold.
Pizza rolls.
That's true. I've got Artisan's Blessing. Do we want to like make him a special weapon or something? That might impress him.
Sure.
So yeah,
I, as a player, have feelings about giving things to Red Dragon, but roll to metagame. Maybe Kaw cares less.
not to the red dragon, to the kobold, and it'll just be like a nice non-magical short sword.
But a nice one.
Yeah, a fancy. Like it's dwarven quality. It's Tarbek tough.
It's Tarbek tough. I made it on my way over here.
Exactly. Wasn't that hard. No, but Tarbek will make a sort of an ornate steel sword. One like a kobold-sized one.
Okay, sure. Okay, cool. And then you guys follow the kobolds?
Yeah, I'll do it on the way over, basically.
Okay.
It takes a while to use Artisan's Blessing, unfortunately. But
so, as you guys approach the castle, the stairway leading up, there are a large amount of guards, kind of spears crossed, and as the prince walks up, they uncross their spears, that kind of thing. And you can hear the prince, Gayle, he is saying in Draconic, "Father, mother, finally the emissaries have come, as spoken of in the prophecies." And he walks into the castle.
what prophecy?
Reply hazy, try again.
Do I know of a prophecy? Can I make a roll on history or religion?
Sure.
I actually got an 18.
It's a prophecy.
Yeah. Looking around, you are like, I've never seen any kobolds like this. I've never seen... I mean, kobolds do worship dragons sometimes, but they don't build cities. Like, this is...
I didn't say 22.
Yeah, it's... None of this makes any sense to you, and you don't know of any prophecy that kobolds would adhere to, other than be scared of big things.
Okay.
This is all weird, is what I'm saying.
Navira has that phrase that the masked guy said before he opened up the coffin, just going round and round in her head. The world is so much bigger than you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's starting to be a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah, but it's alright, because they're kobolds, so it's actually kind of smaller.
Yeah, it's a small world after all.
No.
Tarbek will give the short sword to Gayle in case she wants to, like, present it regally or something, because she is the one who actually speaks Draconic.
Okay.
Yeah, this is gonna work. Okay. You guys are at the bottom of these stairs. What do you do?
Well, we just have to keep going until something happens.
I guess we head towards the palace. Or head towards where the prince is, because...
And as you walk up the stairs, Gayle, you can hear people whispering as you were passing, like, it's the emissaries, it's the prophecy. And they all start to bow or bend down on one knee as you guys walk up the stairs. And you enter a large throne room with a king and queen seated on a throne. There seems to be a kind of a couple advisors near them. If you had to peg them, you'd say one was a high priest, one was a wizard, and one is just maybe an
Where
advisor.
is the treacherous vizier?
There is a vizier. He does not look treacherous, however. And as you guys enter, they're all kind of whispering to the king and queen, and then there is a hushed silence as you enter the room.
Tarbek will sort of look at the high priest and say, like, in Primordial, "You speak Primordial?
Let's see.
Undercommon? Common? Dwarvish? I'm out of languages?"
Let's see. He speaks Common and Draconic. So Common.
All right. That's good. We'll keep walking and meet with the king and queen, I guess. How does the rest of the party feel about this?
Mira is not totally on board with the idea of bowing to her, and she has had her sword out the entire time.
Oh, that's not a good thing to do.
She's
I
a
know
little bit
that.
on edge.
Navira knows that as well, but she is inherently distrustful.
This is hollowed ground,
I'm willing
remember?
to bet last time Navira saw a throne, it wasn't good.
Was she being sentenced to something?
Gayle will try to position herself so that she's like in front of Navira, so she can like not like
Okay, yeah.
just hide the sword.
Okay, I'm not very big, but I will stand in front of the giant person.
She'll activate her cloak of billowing too.
Oh,
just like
excellent. Just see Navira behind you trying to like angrily stare around your cloak. Okay.
She's giving everyone the stare down. She does not trust what is happening here at all.
Very concerned bird lady.
The queen, the king and queen will welcome you to the high court. They will start speaking in common so that you all may understand them.
Hey.
And they will say, the prophecies are true, son. Excellent work. What news do you bring of the outside world? We have never had visitors. We don't know what it's like.
You had your thing closed.
Yes. We have been trapped in here.
Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry, my mistake.
For lo, these many years we tunneled and tunneled until it collapsed. And we found paradise. And he'll point out towards the glowing dragon, and he says, and we found our god, and our god is kind.
Does the god seem kind?
The god has done nothing but like float like the giant space baby from 2001 since you guys got here. It's just kind of aimlessly floating and glowing.
Alrighty then.
But it's very much a red dragon.
Yeah, for sure.
Roll to metagame.
I don't even know if Tarbek would need to metagame. He lives on a volcano. Chances are like a red dragon sighting is probably not that uncommon an occurrence.
It's a very tiny dragon, if that makes you feel any better. It's probably young.
Hatched maybe 100 years ago.
Maybe less.
It's probably around the same age as Tarbek. Like 100.
Is there something you were trying to deduce, Jay, with your roll to metagame, or just not trust red dragons?
No, that's my phrase for when I'm trying to actively avoid metagame.
Oh, sure.
I can make a history check, but I mean, I don't think that'll help. Just about red dragons. Okay, I got a 19. Probably because I live in a volcano.
Yeah, you know about red dragons and how they're greedy and typically evil. You don't know why one would glow. Or why the ground would be hallowed.
Can I make a religion check?
Sure.
Also got to do that.
That's a 9.
A 9.
That is a...
Go ahead, Tarbek. Navira, you can make it with advantage.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, I got a 14.
14?
Oh, that's a natural 20.
Okay.
Hey.
Oh, I have one of these in my backyard.
14 for Tarbek. You're kind of trying to rattle off the dragon pantheon in your head, and dragons do have gods. You don't
Bahamut, Tiamat.
Yeah, Bahamut, Tiamat.
The other ones.
They've got some other. There's
Tiamat.
Zorgian, Kurtlermerk. Oh no, wait, he's the god of Tobalds. Tamara. There's a bunch of dragon gods that nobody cares about other than Bahamut and Tiamat.
Tamara's just a regular name.
But and none of these
tomorrow.
are.
It's the day after today.
None of these are striking any bells. Navira. This might tie into something you were told by your superiors for your mission.
Oh.
The god spark of Tiamat was fractured when she was sent back to hell. And this is checking off some boxes of that thing is a god spark. Did we just lose Daniel?
No, I'm right here.
He's back. Okay.
You see Navira get very serious all of a sudden, and suddenly she will not take her eyes off of the red dragon.
It's just kind of... Occasionally it'll, like, yawn and stretch, and then go back to being in a little, like, sleeping ball.
Tarbek will sort of give them bland news updates. Like, oh yeah, no, there's like a city near here. Oh geez, there was a big explosion a while ago. There was some undead. The Red Wizards are... Have you guys heard of the Red... I don't know. You might have... Alright, fair enough.
Wait, real quick, Andy. I know my mission was not to recover the God Spark, but to destroy the Red Wizards organization.
Correct. However, hold on, let me pull something up. You were given orders on if you found one, what to do.
Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, no.
So specifically, you were supposed to be stopping Red Wizards from finding them. And
got it.
If you find them, you need to report this to your superiors.
All right. So not only does she
orders that cause anything drastic.
So not only does she look incredibly serious, you can like sense just a little bit of antsy coming off of her.
Metagame mode. Someone here does have a sending spell.
I'm not sure you want to talk to these people, Tarbek.
Yeah. That may not be great. But the king...
It made Andy laugh, it's so bad.
The king and queen...
Does she really worship here?
The king and queen are kind of taking all of your banal updates, Tarbek, and they don't seem to understand any of it. And...
Goat ball? You guys like goat ball?
No.
We have a present for you.
Oh.
Oh yeah, Gayle will hold the sword like handle-wise and give it present it nicely to the king.
Okay. One of the king's bodyguards looks like that.
Aw.
He's a beefy dude.
Yeah,
I like these guys. They're cool.
From Kobold Press's Creature Codex, that is a Swolbold.
Yes! Yes!
Kind of big, beefy dude will come and take the sword very delicately and will kind of gesture it for the king, swing it a few times to, prove what fine craftsmanship it is, and then hand it to the king. And the king will very reverently take it and say, "Thank you, such a kind gift from the emissaries. We can only offer our meagerest supplies and treasures." And another one of the Swolbolds takes a wheelbarrow and just starts dumping gold in front of you guys. This is just the littlest amount we can offer, and there's 10,000 gold here.
10,000?
Yes.
Tarbek is drooling.
So as distracting as the pile of shinies is, Lady Kaw's going to look at the queen with an inquisitive look and ask in his voice, "Prophecy?"
Pardon me, sorry. Okay. The king will kind of look at you because you've repeated in his own voice. And that is odd for him, but he will say, yes, the prophecy, and he will point to his high priest, who will cast thaumaturgy and make all the lights dim.
Ah, yes, movie time.
I like this guy so far.
And then
Tarbek is shoveling the gold into a bag.
Yeah, the wizard will start casting like illusion spells to kind of illustrate as the king narrates their history and prophecy. And he says, generations ago, our ancestors found this cave. They tunneled, and then their exit was destroyed. So they made a life here. They knew there were people above. There was a surface world above, but they could not go. And then our God came and saved us. He changed us. And you can see the kobolds that are in the images are typical little scraggly kobolds. And kind of generations, it's 2. And they become kind of beefy and handsomer and prettier. And they'll say they built the city here by the blessing of the god who provides them with knowledge and sustenance and magic. And they've built this beautiful society, their safe haven from the horrors of the world, from the hardships their ancestors faced. This dragon has only ever given, not taken away, as many other dragons do to our kin outside of Safe Haven. They say, he says, the prophecy said that one day travelers from the outside world would come and bear great news with them and offer the salvation of my people and kobolds everywhere. And you are the emissaries. You said so when you entered. That's what the prophecy says, that the people will know they are the emissaries.
Could you please define salvation? Narrow it down a little? Narrow it down a little?
You will raise our city to the surface world, where it will become the greatest gem of the world. A beacon of hope and prosperity, and cleanliness and greatness. And our God will bring light to everyone who looks upon him.
I've got good news for you. There is actually a city on top of this city. So kind of already fulfilled the prophecy in that regard.
And you have procured the city for us. Wonderful. Quickly.
What? No,
Gather our people.
That's not what I meant.
What?
There's already people in the city. They live there. They work there.
Well, surely they will welcome kobolds with open arms.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Deep, they might.
It's Waterdeep.
Cannot predict now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about volcano real estate?
That is not the chosen land of our people. This Waterdeep is. I want it. It's above here.
You can't
Real
just
quick.
take it.
Real quick, Navira is going to turn to the king and say, "You doubt the emissary?"
Kind of look at the priest and the wizard. Kind of they'll consult for a second. The emissary knows the best place for our people. Maybe things have changed. And the king will look at you and say, "I do not doubt the emissary."
Good.
Well-
And then she's going to look back at the dragon and just continue to stare.
We could build some tunnels for you. I mean, I can help with that if that's what you need. I can shift the stone in the earth with magical abilities. That's a thing I do.
I'll kind of nod and say, some of our priests have hinted that may be possible. But you can you can literally move the earth with your magic.
Yeah, I can. It's called. I don't know if you've heard of stone shape. I'm going to sort of point to the other priests and say like stone shape. Stone shape.
I mean, he can't cast it, but he's like, yes. I've
Okay,
heard of
cool.
this spell.
You know, it'll. I mean, if it's just one, it might take a while. I'm going to sort of start like going on to the like finer details of tunnel construction. I'm assuming they already know some of this. I'm basically stalling at this point because I'm trying to. I don't know what to do.
They say their ancestors were tunnelers, and before they found Safe Haven, they were good tunnelers. However, the prophecy said they must stay here until the time was right for them to tunnel again.
My people live underground. We have built massive and amazing structures and empires without ever going to the surface. We go to the surface occasionally, you know, for supplies and whatnot and to trade. But look at what you have here, and look at this beauty, this amazing place. You could, if you connect this with the rest of Faerun, you know, there's no telling what you could accomplish. It would become an even grander civilization.
Exactly. Therefore, we must take it to the surface and obliterate Waterdeep. That's what we're talking about, right?
Wait, what?
My reply is no.
Place. So that's a no.
I have a question first.
Sure.
Who made this prophecy?
He will say the prophecy was made by where are we? Hirgo.
Hirgo?
Yeah, Hirgo. He was our first king.
I will make a history check on that name.
Oh, sure.
No.
Yeah, he was some rat dragon. It's that name is not gonna reach it. He is only important to these people. He has never made a dent on any other history. But yeah, he will say the first king Hirgo made this prophecy when the god appeared.
Well, we are people of peace, and we have come to preach the word of peace. Peace is great, and not war. Not doing war against Waterdeep is a good idea.
Well, he will say, "Well, we do not want war. The emissaries have have procured our proper place on the surface, as is said in the prophecies.
Okay, like I'm gonna sort of whisper, like, I can't keep this going for that long. I don't know how to raise a city 200 feet upwards. That's not a thing. Maybe if I had like 100 other 8th level dwarven clerics, but I can't do this.
So Gayle will whisper back, okay, we'll go get some. And she'll speak up to the king and say, we are the emissaries, but we are just a few of many and we need to go back and go get our friends, so that way we can help you raise the city. Because we do know how to raise it. It would take a very long time if it was just my dwarf friend and I. So we're gonna go get our other friends.
This makes sense.
Yeah. So
Without a doubt.
yeah, we'll just go for a sec. We'll be right back. But we're gonna go.
You may rely on it.
And he will say, the emissaries leave us. All hail the emissaries. And there'll be like a cheer and a chant.
Okay.
As you guys, I assume, quickly walk out of this throne room.
As soon as the idea of leaving was even suggested, Navira was out.
Question. If we were to raise the
hanging
city...
onto the giant tiefling because that is the quickest way out.
If we were to raise the city, how much of Waterdeep would it destroy?
It would probably destroy, based on where you guys are, it would destroy part of the city of the dead.
That's actually not so bad. It doesn't seem like that big a city, or like that big a kobold underground
It's
thing.
not, I mean, it's sized for kobolds, so it's not huge, but...
There's also that dragon. That might cause problems.
That is the thing I'm really worried about. I think, okay.
It's no big deal. It's just a shard of Tiamat.
Well, I don't know that. Tarbek doesn't know that.
Roll to
The only
mitigate.
one who knows that is me, and she is not saying.
I mean, I don't...
She is very obviously distressed.
I must say, I do feel a little uncomfortable, because they do worship a red dragon, but they seem perfectly pleasant.
I mean, yeah, they seem like happy, very happy little dudes. But, again, they're, worshipping a red dragon, and red dragons are the bad ones. So we kind of have to be careful to not, completely destroy their religion, but also destroy a dragon. Which is why I thought we would go get help.
Are we having this conversation when we're back up out the stairs?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I don't want to have
Lady
it in the
Kaw
presence.
just makes an explosion sound again.
I mean, if quite
As
honestly,
soon as it hears that Navira is going to turn on them, she says, I know what to do about this. And I need not one of you to do anything. She's going to turn around and keep walking.
one of you
Fast as she
Count on.
can.
not do anything else. Is that what I heard? Sorry, you cut out a bit.
Yeah. She tells you that she knows what to do about it, and she needs you to not do or say anything else.
All right, then.
Okay.
Okay.
Would anyone like to follow Navira?
Okay, I will follow Navira.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
Why not?
Navira seems distressed, and that means Lady Kaw's distress and fussing over Navira trying to get her less distressed.
Navira, are you trying to lose them?
I mean, the idea of them knowing isn't necessarily a priority to her right now. So, I mean, she's moving at quite a pace. And I assume that she's following a path that would not necessarily be easy to follow.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe in that sense, she's about to lose them, but she's not actively trying to get away.
Okay. So, Gayle and Lady Kaw, Tarbek, are you following Gayle and Lady Kaw?
See, like, I have a walking speed of... I'm slower than the rest of the party, so I feel like I'm going to get... they're going to, like, basically leave me in the dust.
I mean, only by 5 feet, so you should always be able to... You will be behind them, but you should always be able to see them.
I guess. So I will follow, but I will also close the tomb on our way out.
Okay.
Just to make sure nobody else comes down there, because I don't want the kobolds to, like, oh, someone came down here and they have a common cold, and now we're all dead because we don't have antibodies.
They've been inoculated by their god.
I hope so.
Okay.
I really hope so.
Fantasy vaccination.
Kaw and Gayle make survival checks with advantage. Because Navira is just walking quickly and determinedly, not attempting to actively lose you guys.
That's a 13 with advantage.
Okay.
That's an 8. I rolled a 3 and a 4.
Okay. At some point, you get turned around a little bit, and Navira gets a decent distance ahead of you before you kind of lock eyes on her again and start to follow again. Make another survival check. This one's just flat.
Ooh. Oh, 18.
Okay.
8.
I have a -1 in survival. How are you guys beating
I
me?
rolled another 4.
I'm at a guidance scale,
Okay.
by the way, so you can get another D4 on that.
Well, I rolled well.
Yeah, still though.
So
You're apparently our lead tracker at the moment because I'm rolling garbage.
Gayle kind of takes Kaw's head and turns it to look at Navira. And you guys see up a decent distance ahead of you, you've found her again, but she has now entered into a building. And Navira, you have entered into the headquarters of your organization here. What would you like to do?
I am looking for the quickest line of communication to my superior.
Okay. Yeah, you find a one of the priests who kind of looks at you like, we don't have a weekly. You're not supposed to come in here unless you're supposed to come in here. So
She'll pull rank on him.
oh no, they look surprised that you are here, not mad. Just that clearly you were here for a reason.
Are they more surprised when the three of us follow?
Well, that'll be in a second. Yeah, I kind of look at you and say, Navira, what's up?
I found it.
What?
What? Are you seriously asking me what? It's what I'm here to do. Well,
Red wizards? You found what we know.
I found what they're looking for.
What? No.
The God Spark!
In the city?
Under it.
Under it.
Now get me a line before I go through you to do it.
Yeah, okay. And we'll kind of run to the back. And that's when Gayle, Kaw, and Tarbek push open the door. And you see Navira standing alone in a fairly plain-looking small room.
So what's going on?
You probably don't want to know.
Probably do.
No, you don't.
Navira, look, we've been at this for about, what out of character, it's been about a week now, probably.
About, yeah.
We've been at this for about a week. Look, we need to know what's going on if we're going to keep helping you. I know you've got a job to do here, and so do all we. So
my job is technically done.
Well, that's your prerogative then.
What I suggest that you all do is that you go back to the Order, take a rest, and soon enough, the Red Dragon will be taken care of.
What about all the little kobolds, though?
They're of no importance.
Oh boy. Maybe
The smiling and laughing is out of character. I just can't help myself. God. I've been holding on to so many secrets.
So,
They.
Lady Kaw is gonna just kind of go up to Navira and just kind of start fussing around and just kind of making small bird noises, but the thing she's trying to get across is, are you okay?
Oh, Navira is fine. She says, I'm fine. This has been a long time coming.
Outlook good?
That looked great. And you can use that. You can quote me on that.
Outlook great.
Tarbek looks very concerned.
I mean, you can insight me.
I'm gonna insight her.
Good idea.
Okay, that is a 24.
So you can do this one of two ways, Mary. You can make a deception check to try and tell them nothing, or you can take their role and decide what you would want to tell them based on this.
The 27 I got, or the 24 I got, I'm basically trying to tell, like, is she going to do those kobolds harm? Because they didn't do nothing.
Well, my other die rolled a 5.
You get the sense that she's not going to do the kobold, but you don't. She's definitely not offering up any information as to what is going on. And you kind of get the sense that she doesn't exactly know. She kind of does, but she doesn't. She couldn't tell you nothing. And she's definitely not offering any.
Tarbek will sigh and say, you know, a party is built on trust, Navira.
And there are times when telling the truth would shatter that trust.
Couldn't possibly be any worse than it is now. What's going on?
Do you really want to know?
I think we need to know whether we want to or not.
Yes.
All right. So at that point, Navira is actually going pauldrons of her, and
Sorry, you cut out.
like slip her shoulder down. Oh, she's going to remove one of the pauldrons of. Oh, okay, yeah, my video is going out. Hang on.
I was gonna say.
Okay, I think I'm good.
Okay, I was gonna say.
I think I'm good. All right, cool.
Can't happen at a worse
Just-
time.
She removes one of the pauldrons of, and like flips her undershirt down, and like across her chest and shoulders, you see like a brand, and it's completely written in it, and it looks just kind of from the structure.
Sorry, what?
Oh, God, my video.
Uh,
We're at a huge plot moment right now. Come
I
on.
No, it sucks.
Yeah, just from the structure of the brand, it almost looks like the way a paladin's oath would be structured. But you can tell just by looking at it, it is not an oath of Tyr.
and it's written in Infernal. You said
It is written in Infernal.
Yeah.
Tarbek will sigh. I'll say, Asmodeus, Levistus,
Zariel.
Zariel. We said that at the same time. That was so cool. Tarbek will sigh.
Is he gone? Oh,
Oh, wait. The last thing we heard, Daniel, was Tarbek would sigh.
Yeah, he'll just.
Oh, that's it? Okay. Okay. The tiefling priest will re-enter the room, and they are holding a mirror. And
as soon as they... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
As soon as they walk in, she is no longer paying attention to her.
And
I don't like the word former.
Oh, I didn't say former. I said
sorry.
she's no longer paying attention.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
So...
Times aren't cutting that fast.
The tiefling will kind of look at the outsiders and flip the mirror around and clutch it to their chest and say, Navira, what are they doing here?
Pay them no mind. They know.
Oh, good. And he'll kind of... He was trying to make some sort of symbol of tear, and it wasn't working. I totally worship tear. Oh, good. Ugh.
Yeah, imagine how hard it's been for me.
And he'll flip the mirror around again, and he'll draw some symbols into it.
I made armor for you. For dwarves, that's like giving you one of my children.
And the mirror will ripple as if it is made of a liquid, and in it you can all see the face of a scarred devil woman, and she just says, "What?"
Navira will kneel, and she'll say, "I found the God Spark."
She'll kind of... Her face will turn into a wicked smile, and she'll say, "Good. This is an unexpected pleasure, Captain. This is excellent news. Most excellent. People will be punished, of course. It was under their noses the whole time." And the guy holding the mirror will kind of start to, like, twitch.
Oh, God.
And then his head will just burst into flames. But his body will remain stock still, holding the mirror.
Navira will flinch at that. Like,
Yeah.
just
Tarbek will draw his hammer.
She'll hold out her hand.
Yeah.
Not unless you want to die, too.
He continues to hold the mirror in the exact same spot, but he drops to his knees, so now he's like holding the mirror above his head, and he just kind of slumps. His arms are the only thing remaining rigid. And the devil says, "Tell me where, and you will have as many agents as you need."
I appreciate the offer, my lady, but I do have one request.
She'll kind of... Her smile will fade, and she says, "This is not a negotiation, Captain."
I never said it was, my lady. Whether or not you decide to take my offer, the God Spark is yours.
Tarbek clenches his fists.
She'll say, "Speak freely. What is it?"
There is a civilization where the God Spark is located, and I would ask that they do not come harm. One way or another, they return to you. Do.
She'll kind of...
But I ask that their time is now.
She will say, "We will stay our blades for a different battle, then. These terms are agreeable."
My thanks.
And kind of this the wicked smile will return to her face, and she will say, "Finally." And then the mirror will drop to the floor and shatter.
Navira lets out like an audible sigh of
Gayle will pipe up. So are we bad guys now?
you guys aren't.
Signs point to yes.
Navira, I have never felt more betrayed in all my 160 years.
Then you know that I have.
Sorry, you cut out again.
Sorry. Then you know feelings that I have time and time again.
Why?
Why? Because they are my people. They raised me, trained me, taught me.
Sorry, taught you what? I didn't...
Taught me to fight.
Tarbek will sigh and...
Like, they worship a devil. Kind of bad.
All I know is that I came here to fight an organization that many on the plane consider themselves seem to be evil. I came to fight records, and if they got their hands on that God's the power that they would have, would level the plains.
And so you've given it to Zariel to level the plains instead.
I don't know what else you would have me do. She's my patron.
You know, I've seen a lot of people like you in my days, and a lot of them don't seem to think they have a choice as to the type of person they become. They seem to think that because the world feels a certain way about them, that their destiny is predetermined. But I've seen firsthand that's not the case. It's not easy. I never claim it will be. Well, I don't know if you can see it in yourself, Navira, but I see more than a devil's pawn in you. But if that's all you want to be, then I can't help you. None of us can. That's a decision you'll have to make for yourself. And if it's a decision you've made your peace with, then I think we're done here. Because I can't help you any longer. And I'm worried I've already helped you too much.
You seem to be stop.
Sorry,
It's-
what?
Why is my video cutting out? You seem to be and do something that you never thought you could do. And that's cry.
Immediate bird hug.
There are tears of just absolute pain.
Immediate bird hug and very concerned soft bird noises.
Tarbek will just drop his hammer and walk over to her slowly.
She'll say, my father, a traitor. A traitor.
Discord hates plot.
Yeah,
I know.
it's
Just
real
go-
frustrating.
Plot.
This creates plot. Say, my father, a traitor. my love was free. I swore to myself I would never bring pain and suffering they brought on me to people who fought, saved my life time again. But as I've been here, I don't want to see people on this plane die. I don't want to see you die. I don't.
Tarbek's going to also give a big hug. It's kind of weird because he's like 4'8", but and he'll reach up and try to put a hand on Navira's shoulder. Sort of. Now, could you crouch down a bit, please? I'm sorry.
We're very short.
Yeah, she'll drop to her.
I'm not good with words, Navira, but
That kind of makes Lady Kaw chuckle. It's like, you're not good with words.
look, I don't really have a knack for screaming orders on a battlefield or inspiring an army the way that you do. And I don't claim to be an expert in these sorts of things, but you have to know that ultimately you're not as alone as you think you are, and you don't owe these people anything. Quite frankly, it seems to me like they're using you. And they'd sooner cast you aside the moment you stop being useful to them than really.
She'll actually kind of laugh at, like a laugh through tears, and she'll say, "Such is the way of devil, and I've gotten to it."
Well, it's not the way of tieflings.
She'll actually, she'll take off part of her chest plate as well, and like lift up her shirt, and like there's a huge, like just right from her side, like it looks like it could kill.
Oh, a big scar.
Yeah, it's like huge, and she'll say, "I was prepared to die for them."
Why?
Just the
Discord really hates plot.
such is the way of devil.
Such is the way of devils, she said, just in case anyone couldn't hear.
The way of devils sounds pretty fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I'm a dwarf. Sorry, you want to go?
Yeah.
Tarbek.
Well, Gayle will just put her hand on like Navira's other shoulder and say, "Listen, I'm a half drow. Technically, I should be like a giant asshole. You're not really."
Well, your quips are pretty down.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't have to be exactly as your forebears think you should be, especially if your forebears are kind of assholes too. You're allowed to be something different. And
Make it sound so easy.
It's not easy, but better than being an asshole.
I want to show you something, Navira. And then Tarbek will sort of reach into his pouch, and he'll take out, you know those wallet accordion things?
Oh, yeah.
It's like that.
Oh, you're Lieutenant Husing her. Look at all of my tiefling children.
That's exactly what I'm about to do.
Yes!
He's got, it's like all 10
Please don't go
types.
out like Hughes, though. Please don't go out like Hughes.
I'm not gonna go out like Hughes. I'm gonna pull out, and it's just all these tin types, and they all have like tiefling faces on them, and a couple of them are there's like some dwarves in there too, and it's all these sort of smiling faces. Some of them they look like they were made like in the process of making something, or and just it's like a photo album. It's very sweet. And then I sort of point to one particular tiefling who's just very tall, has horns a little bit like Navira, has this big glaive that it looks like she made, and she's standing there with another slightly much shorter tiefling. This one girl's like 7 feet tall, but and then Tarbek will sort of tap her and say, she made a different choice, and you also have that choice. And then he'll fold up the tin types.
And Lady
if I turn traitor,
What? The what?
if I turn traitor, they'll kill me.
Lady Kaw's at that going to poke Navira in the chest and say, "The devil?" My reply is no. My sources say no. Outlook good. Outlook great.
Tarbek will shed a single tear.
Yeah, Navira's full on crying too right now.
So what do you say we get out of this fucking temple and go somewhere slightly less profane, and we talk about what we're going to do next? And if you want, I'll even send for some of my apprentices. Maybe they can help us out a bit.
She's gonna take the pin sword from her hair. She's gonna hand it to Tarbek, and this was a gift from her. I think I'm gonna need. This was a gift from her. I think I'm gonna need a new one.
That I can help you with. And Tarbek will sort of clap her on the back. And I guess start walking out of the temple.
Okay. And with that, we will end this episode. Great job, everybody. I can't say anything more than that. Because that was great.
Ow!
Oh, my soul.
Cry on stream again.
Ow!
Outros and plugs. Daniel.
Hi. Just for the record, that sort of tiefling orphanage thing, which was a huge part of Tarbek's backstory, no coordination on that whatsoever. That was just very nice coincidence. You can catch me Saturday. Saturday at Must Be Fate is when we upload episodes there. Horrible Barovia Time is uploaded on Sunday. My Twitter handle is @lightningfast11. I'd like to endorse friendship and love. And good tieflings.
Liz.
Hi, I'm Liz. I say things sometimes. I'm here. So many feels.
People follow you on Twitter if they want.
Yeah, they can do that. I'll post something soon. I don't
know. Jay.
Hi, I'm Jay Rashu. I'm amazed that I get to play D&D with all these wonderful people.
Oh, stop.
You can also follow me on Twitter if you would like, @JRashu. I actually posted pictures of a thing I did back in September recently. So.
And Mira.
Hi, I'm Mira. Let me just say that I've been holding on to that one for about 5 months.
Oh my god.
Well did.
If you recall, the first thing I ever said about Navira was that she looked like she walked straight out of the Nine Hells.
Yeah, like
Totally
I said,
did.
last time Navira saw a throne, it probably wasn't good.
So, had this coming for a while. You can follow me both on Twitter and on Instagram at Birds and Nerds. I put art sometimes, eventually. It'll happen. I did start drafting up a full portrait of Navira, so be on the lookout for that.
I can't wait to see it.
Awesome.
Remember, volcano real estate. It's just like the Nine Hells.
See, it's gonna be so good in my eye.
I'm Andy Hatton. You can follow me on Twitter at Andy Hatton. Our website is laughingdragonin.weebly.com. Go there for art, writings, all of the episodes with links to YouTube and such. I would like to plug Dungeons & Dragons because it's the best game on the planet.
It really is.
Next week on the Laughing Dragon Inn Strike Team Beta.
Different crying
Yes,
party.
a
We have
different
two
crying
crying
party.
parties now.
See, they cry in the cold and we cry in caves in town.
Strike Team Beta has to deal with the burning fallout of that building and that giant dragon from the abyss.
Oh.
Have a great night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.